What's up, guys? Hobby with Cage, episode 211, 5 minutes of hobby today. Hope you guys enjoyed yesterday's Road to the National series, 2025 Road to the National. Already recorded a couple more of those, so we'll give those out to you over the next couple of weeks. And it was a fun episode, Mr. Minty. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. I asked him who'd win in a steel cage match, him or Kurt's Card Care. And the answer might surprise you. I don't know. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And 5 minutes of hobby thoughts today, brought to you by Arena Club and Bleaker Trading. FanFest, Fanatics Fest coming up. About a week and a half away. Actually a little excited for it. Not really for the cards. I was actually thinking about it today. What cards of mine do I bring, if any? And I remember last year, my son just really wanted to be in the activation area, playing soccer, running around, running the 40, that kind of stuff. And I have a feeling we'll probably wind up doing a lot more of that. And it's an interesting thing because that's kind of the event. It's not really the card show. I mean, the card show's there, and obviously I'll spend time there and do that. But National Fanatics Fest, they're just two different animals. That's thoughts on that. Obviously, as we get closer, I'll talk about Fanatics Fest some more, and then as it's going on, I think I may go all 3 days. So you might get 5 minutes of hobby, kind of recapping each day, which could be fun. Got a fun message today, which is my hobby thoughts of the day from a hobby friend, an IG friend, someone who obviously I've met in person, but it's a hobby person. Glad they're still here in the hobby. They've gone through some ups and downs just like I have. And they messaged me today, hey, how you doing? And I just, fired back. My answer was, I'm consolidating my way into a big pile of money owed, with an LOL, like old people like me still put in there. And, it's funny because there's so many cards that I want, and I'm, using funnier cards and, and that kind of stuff. But you wind up getting to a point where, you buy cards and you use your cards to kind of pay for them. But you get to a point where, in my collection now, I don't really want to sell any of these cards. And it makes it tough, right? Because I kind of have to, right? I have to, if you're really doing the consolidation thing, you got to come up with cards to pay for the cards that you bought. So what I said to him was, I might have to make some tough decisions and sell some stuff I don't want to sell. But that's the game, that's what we're doing here. And he said he's only going to keep cards he'll likely never get back. And then talked about some cards he's selling for small profit. Of course, I said, profit is profit. But going back to that line, right? It's exactly what I've been talking about here. I'm glad he said it because it's exactly what I need to do. I got to look at the cards that I own and say, all right, I'm consolidating into cards that I literally can't replace. These are either one of ones or, cards that just don't come up publicly for sale. And if I were to sell those, I won't get them back ever. And I'm trying to look at my collection and say, all right, is there anything there that I can use to sell to pay for those type of cards that I might be able to get back? People who've been listening to me for a while remember that I was building a set of the first edition Pokemon, the 1999 English version, and I had almost every card in PSA 10. The only two I have left right now are the Pikachu yellow and red. I've kept them because I think those are still undervalued, underappreciated cards. But the red cheek says 200 and something of, the yellow cheek says 300 and something of, and they sell for decent money. I can sell those because those are cards I can get back. Those are cards that I will be able to buy again. They're not, rare. If I sell them and, don't get them back soon, I might have to pay more, but they are cards I can get back. So those are cards I'm probably going to move into the pile of I can sell for consolidation. The other thing that this guy added in here was cards that you can never find that are in demand of certain players deep in collections seem to be the ones to keep. Fair, right? Ones that people want to hang on to, ones that you really have to pry out of somebody's hands, the ones that just don't surface. Um, and just layering on here because I'm already at 5 minutes of hobby thoughts. What P. Ryan said in his live earlier today, if you haven't checked it out, check it out. He's right. You know, when you're buying something, normally, if it's the right card, you're paying more than you thought you were gonna have to pay because you were probably fighting with somebody to get that card, or you were overpaying in your mind because you have to pry it from someone. Whereas the cards you're selling to pay for that purchase oftentimes sell for less. Because if you've made the decision that this is not a card I really need and I'm just going to sell it, chances are that's not a card that people are going to be fighting over. So you wind up having this, fun little situation where the stuff you're buying you're kind of overpaying for, and the stuff you're selling you're not getting paid what you thought you were going to get for them. Which is why I'm in the position I'm in, having to go through my PC and audit it again and figure out what it is that I would sell to fund my other purchases. It's a fun thing. Keeps me engaged in the hobby, keeps me entertained, keeps me researching the cards and making the decisions based on the analysis that I'm doing on these cards. Some people just buy a million cards and just keep them and never sell anything, and that's great if you can do that. But for me, what's been fun for the last year or two is kind of the ever evolving collection and how I'm getting from point A to point B. It's made kind of my hobby journey this year very different than what I've done in years past, and it's been pretty fun. So find your own path, have some fun. Fun little hobby conversation that I had that I wanted to share with you guys, and I hope you enjoyed my couple minutes of hobby thoughts today, brought to you by Arena Club Bleecker Trading. Talk to you guys soon. Take care.